Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sophomore. No, not the sophomore. I'm reading off the wrong script. Welcome to the third episode of the brand new GVGCast, where we get together and kick back and chat about what we've been playing, the week's biggest gaming news, of course discuss topics submitted by our wonderful patrons. Hey, I'm the host this time because Ash is feeling under the weather, so it's a little loose, off the collar. It's whatever. Junior year, celebrate. I don't know.
Hey, you're killing it, man. You're good.
You know what? I'm back in my comfy seat where it feels more like the old days, my old podcast that my old baby. Feels good to be back in the host seat, but I wanted this to become Ash's baby. And lo and behold, hey, I'm here with my good friends GVG co-founders Steve Bowling and Ash Polson. How you two been?
Doing all right. As you've said, I'm feeling kind of under the weather, so I appreciate you hosting for me today, man. Normally I'd be hosting, but I super appreciate you stepping in because I feel like crap. I've got a headache. I've got the shakes. I've only been sleeping around about 3 to 4 hours a night this week because of work. So I'm just a little tired.
It's a bigger problem right now, and I think I need to raise the awareness of it. Steve is currently muted for everybody.
Oh,
and now he's muted for us. Now I can't hear him.
Oh, yeah, we can't hear you either, Steve. But I while he fixes that, yes, I'm not feeling great. But thank you, everyone. I see all your well wishes in the YouTube chat. I super appreciate you. I love you. I'll be all right. I'll be good. I think I'm just tired and sleep deficient.
The symptoms you described to me.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you are. There's Steve.
Hi.
I missed your voice.
Yeah, I forgot.
I'm telling you, man, you got to stop making those deals with sea witches.
Well, I was on and I'll tell you a little bit more about this later, but I was on like a self-promotion tour this week. So part of that included our good pals at AverMedia, which meant that I tore all this down and put up nothing but AverMedia products for a podcast I did with them. I've been on a couple podcasts this week, but
nice.
Yeah.
That's definitely exciting. I know John's been kind of doing the same. He was on a video on Spawnwave with Scott the Waz, Ant Dude, and oh no, I feel so bad for forgetting the third guest. Another great YouTuber.
Oh, that's okay.
So
there's so many. That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like the podcast love is being spread. Actually, I just got reached out to by our good friend Nadia Oxford, and they want to have me on an upcoming episode of Retronauts. And our good friend Kat Bailey reached out to me this very morning and asked if I was going to be at PAX East because they want to have me on their panel there.
Nice.
At celebrating 10 years of Wii U. So assuming I'm going to be there, they invited me to be on their Nintendo voice chat panel, and I'm like, hell yeah. So
that is cool.
Seems
nice.
Like
that's really cool.
Seems like we're getting the podcast love spread to everybody.
Yeah. I recently, as recently as yesterday, appeared on MinMax to talk about Horizon Forbidden West. We did a spoiler cast. Those of you that follow me on Twitter know that the day embargo lifted, I was like, if you're doing a spoiler cast, call me. And so the good, kind folks at MinMax actually DM'd me and they're like, are you serious? I was like, of course I'm serious. So that's over on their channel now for you to check out. I also was live on Twitch with AverMedia last night, we're AverMedia partners here at GVG. So occasionally they ask me to, co-host some of their streams. We had a good time there talking about microphones and mic arms and stuff that I won't bore you with here today. But trust me, it's all really cool, really helpful stuff. And I talked to our pal Scott the Waz today, and he and I will be working on a little secret project together that you probably won't see for a while, but when you see it, you'll know it. And we have some really fun plans for that.
Nice. Yeah, it's all about collaboration here at GVG. We love our collaborations. We love our friends. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. So it's just great to be able to collaborate with so many wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just always great. But what have you guys been working on? I'm not been doing a podcast tour, although I will be joining one of our patrons podcasts this coming month. So that's been fun getting that set up. So trying to get out there. It's a little tough, having the extra time with the kids and whatnot, as Steve will attest to.
Oh yeah. I am on my first kid-free weekend in 3 weeks, and I am I feel like Goku after he gathers the energy for the Spirit Bomb. Now I'm just ready to do something.
Yeah. There you go. And I'm not going to be part of it, but I do have friends that I should be announcing stuff soon that they're going to be doing a charity stream, I believe, next weekend.
Cool.
So I definitely want to help promote them when they formally announce that.
Nice.
So yeah, that is definitely good. Otherwise, I've been, I finally finished Pokemon Legends review. It's
nice.
up.
Yeah,
it's done.
Nice.
Great,
Only took me a month.
Yeah.
I kind of got
you did
distracted by the
great.
direct, so.
Yeah, it's
Oh, you did a
it's also
great
a
job,
lot of
man.
game. You slipped in an analysis in there. You edited the script for another analysis that isn't live
Yeah.
yet. So Derek's been quite busy behind the scenes helping out with other stuff.
Yeah, man, you killed it.
You So I had an idea and I started working on it thinking, and not really realizing exactly what I was getting myself into.
Right.
I'm working on a video that will likely make the Xenoblade analysis look short. I'm guessing right now, based on what I've been working on, how I've been doing, and the sort of the pace it's going with the scripting I've been getting done during the day. Probably a 2-hour video coming. So
I've been seeing
Strap
the
in,
script
folks.
balloon behind
Yeah.
the scenes, man, and it just keeps ballooning and ballooning. It's wild.
I said on Twitter I got down a rabbit hole, but yeah, it's not an analysis or anything like that. It's something I've never really done before, but it's something that I find it interesting, so I hope everybody else does too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
I think it's cool. I have, it's about something that I don't have a ton of familiarity with, a little bit,
I think it's something a lot of people don't have familiarity with, at least until a certain point. And yeah. So as for hints, most of the a good chunk of the series is Japan only.
yeah,
That's a good hint.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's a
one.
good
That's
hint.
a good one. I like that.
Speaking of something like we're personally really, really interested in, but maybe doesn't have that much attention, I got to preview a game I'm really excited about earlier this week. I don't think I can say which one yet, but the embargo on that will be lifting next week, and I'm so excited to show it off and talk about it and do this video because
Our
it's
preview pipeline is looking pretty good right about now.
yeah. So this is I will say it's an indie game that I personally am very excited about, and that's all I'll say. But look forward to that. I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy I got the opportunity to preview this game. So that happened, and I'm really excited about that.
You were kind of the perfect pick for it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely. I think so. It was just perfect. Like, yeah, I was the appropriate one to certainly preview this game.
I gotta call this out real quick. I don't know why Liehord said, "Hey, GVG, also 69," but nice. But behind me, real quick, I just want to share. Oh man, you can't see it. Hold on. Podcast folks, I'm sorry, but hold on.
For podcast folks, Steve is walking to the dresser behind him. He is picking up what appears to be a figurine. He is returning, and he is carrying.
So
according to Steve is carrying.
I had a terrible day today, just for various reasons. But something lifted me up. I got a belated Christmas gift in the mail today from my sister.
Oh, nice!
And it was the first 4 deluxe Luigi's Mansion 3 statue, and I was trying to.
Cool.
Yeah, I was trying to slide back and show it off, but like Polterpup lights up and Luigi's flashlight turns on, and it's so friggin' cool.
That is
I was
sick.
super happy to get that. Yeah, it just showed up on the box or on my doorstep when I got home today because I was in Phoenix for work, where I got promoted today too, which was really nice. So
hey, that's definitely nice.
Oh yeah,
more
congratulations.
But
nice.
yeah, so those of you that want to see it closer. Sorry, folks that are listening on audio. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, but I promise you, if you watch this on YouTube, you'll see that I'm holding a very nicely detailed Luigi's Mansion 3 statue. It's really cool. It's from First 4 Figures, who also made the Ryo Hazuki that's behind me.
Oh, nice. I saw something today that I'm like, I will never be able to afford this, but God, I want it. There, Wario 64 advertised a like $550 statue of Death from Symphony of the Night.
Oh, I saw that today, dude.
Gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
I am dying to get the Samus Dread suit Figma. And that'll only be like really 50 or $60, but when I saw that I was like, "Oh god, yes." Like whatever price.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about figures, we probably this actually isn't the same one, I don't think, but there is a first 4 figures of Amaterasu from Okami, and it is beautiful. I'm gonna post it in our chat right now just so everybody can see. But I want this thing so badly. Yeah, not that I have room for it or anything, but it's absolutely
okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
yeah, I want it. I want it so much. It's sold out, of course, but maybe someday. Maybe someday.
I saw this mentioned earlier in the chat, and I wanted to bring this up because someone asked me, and I'm exactly this kind of mark. Someone asked me if I played Elden Ring. Of course I did. Why did I do it? I don't know. I spent the money to buy Elden Ring on PS5. To be fair, we did get supplied a code, but on launch, which we gave to John. I don't know what we're going to do with it, honestly. John has his own plans for videos, but he's just going to kind of play it, and if something seems like a great idea that comes out of it, then cool. But I'm just going to set your expectation now. Don't expect a formal review. We're probably not going to do one. But I picked it up and I played it, and for a minute there, it tricked me into thinking it wasn't a Souls game. I was like, oh, look at all these classes, and I was like, samurai, that looks cool. I'm objectively Caucasian looking, but okay. Maybe I'm Tom Cruise, but I put on the samurai armor, and I was really feeling it for the first 30 minutes. You go through the tutorial, and they're like, oh, hey, you can hold the sword, the katana, with 2 hands, and that gives you more power behind your strikes. And I was like, this is cool. I was reading all the spammy messages of people trying to troll me into jumping off cliffs or killing myself or whatever. And I made it through the whole tutorial section. I even fought one mini boss, and I saw blood stains on the ground, which I'm not a Souls person, but I believe that to mean that a player died there. Yeah. And so I was like, I didn't die there. I'm doing great. And I get out, and I finally get to where the world opens up, and there is what looks to be just a mounted soldier, but obnoxiously large, going around. And I did what I always do in a Souls game. I'm like, I am going to fight that. And I went over to it, and I got smoked.
That might be your issues with Souls game, where you look at something like that and be like, I'm going to fight it now, right now.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I don't do cowardice in Souls games. I'm like, you and me, let's do this. And then I see the telltale, it hasn't changed since the PS3. It's just you died. And I'm like, all right, I'm out.
they know their bread and butter.
It's just, I hear you, Steve. I'm so happy for everyone out there, like our good friend Rob Arman X, who is so hyped for this game. They've been waiting for so long. I'm so glad it turned out to be everything they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I'm just not a Soulsborne guy. You will pry me away from Horizon Forbidden West. You will pry that out of my cold, dead hands. It's just not happening. There's no way any other game that I don't have to review is going to pull me away from Horizon Forbidden West. And it's weird. I see all the hype for Elden Ring, and I'm so happy for everybody, but it just doesn't do anything for me. It's just kind of passing me by.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it to a degree, and I talked about this, I think, when we talked about Elden Ring a month ago, where it's if I sit down and I fight a boss and I win, I totally understand the high you get from doing that. But then it's right around the corner, there's another battle that's just as hard. And I'm like, that just piles on the stress of these things for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm weird, but that does sound kind of fun. I just never get the time for it. I got to admit, all the hype, maybe it's FOMO, but I am kind of
well, that's
I have time for Elden Ring, but no.
I definitely had FOMO, and I ended up with a copy of Elden Ring for it. So
yeah,
I was if you don't want any more, ship it over to me. I'll take it.
Nice. Just log into my PSN, man.
There you go.
It's there. It's digital.
And Steve, I'll say I'm sure you were awesome on the spoiler cast for Horizon, man, but I won't know because there's no way I would let this game be spoiled for myself. I'm so into it.
I was a little surprised by how early my friends at MinMax were doing it. And when they told me, they're like, yeah, it's live tomorrow, because we recorded it the day before. I was like, really? I was like, okay. I mean, that's cool, first out. But every response to my tweet about it was like, I can't wait to watch this when I'm done with the game. I was like, fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem a little early for it.
But it was fun. I got to hang out with the MinMax crew. I got to see Janet Garcia again, who was on TNT a long time ago.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah.
She's great.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, before we get any further, we probably should have did this a lot earlier, but we are sponsored by several people. And first up is the Game Orb. And I'm not sure, do we have video for this yet?
No,
we do not yet, no.
Still reading copy. Sorry, I wasn't here last week, so I wasn't sure if it had been updated. But as always, The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. All games like Sonic Colors Ultimate and Splatoon 2 can be seen on the channel. The Game Orb will have a new Mario Party Superstars video every weekday this month, which includes a match with Ash and Steven, a friend of his, as well as videos showing all 5 boards with 30 turns each, and ranking all the mini games in groups of which game they originated from. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description, as well as check out their good friend, the Galactic Reaper. And they're currently at 418 subs. Doing pretty well.
Let's get them to 500. There's tens of thousands of you that weren't here last time we said that.
I know.
Yes, and I'm posting their links in the YouTube chat right now. I just realized I was logged in as my personal account, not the GVG account, so I'm fixing that now.
How dare you?
I know, right? But yes, the Game Orb, seriously, please go show him your love. You check out his content, sub to his channel. He has supported everything we've been doing on Patreon and here on YouTube right from the very beginning, right from our launch. So we can't thank him enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think I'll also take this time to read a few of the super chats we've gotten since we began. There's a couple in here. First up from Jaden Buck, $5. Thank you so much. Saying Crazy Question Fridays, crazy question number 29. Today I have officially turned 21, so I wanted to ask you guys, what was your 21st birthday experience?
Oh no.
Oh man. I
honestly
went to
just
Vegas.
A normal birthday. I didn't do much. I didn't do anything exciting. I'll be honest.
I went to Vegas, did the whole Vegas thing, and spent more or less half of it horrifically hungover because I just partied so hard. And so, unfortunately, I partied so hard that I didn't get to party the whole time because I was feeling like crap for the second half of it.
Wow.
But I still had a great time. Yeah, I went ham, man. I partied hard for my 21st birthday, but I was with my best friends, and I still had a good time. They took care of me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My 21st birthday was just awkward.
No.
So it's not as debaucherous as most of my stories, but I was working at Target at the time, and so we had like our little clique, like our little crew of people that would usually go out and hang out after work, and we were all supposed to meet up at a bar for my birthday, and literally everyone forgot. Every single person.
No.
So I was just like there by myself. And I was like, am I going to buy myself drinks? And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. It's my birthday. So I go home and, I'm all like dejected. My parents are like, what's wrong? And I was like, nobody showed up to my birthday. And my dad is like, let's go to the bar. Let me buy you a drink. And he takes me to just like a cheesecake factory. And he buys me like a cup of Southern Comfort. Like, just neat too.
Man.
Like, and I, like most people, I had drank before this, but not like, I certainly wasn't a whiskey in a glass kind of drinker at 21 years old. So I'm like drinking what tastes like raw gasoline. And I'm just like, 21 is great. I was like,
God.
Somebody please get me a goddamn Mike's Hard Lemonade or something. I'm 21, not 38.
That is true. That's legitimate though for you to be upset. You said it like, I feel like you had a legitimate reason to be upset that everyone forgot your 21st birthday. That's sad.
No,
that sucks.
It does suck, but I just mean like the way we handle our anger in youth is so much different. Like if that happened to me at 40, I'd be like, well, that sucks. I'm going to go do something else. It rolls off easier the older you get. But when you're in like your 20s, you're like, everyone's a son of a bitch. I hate them so much. I'm not going to talk to you, and I'm not going to tell you why I'm upset. I'm just going to wait for you to figure it out.
You all betrayed me. I'm fed up with this world.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You all betrayed me. I'm fed up with this world. Nice the room quote. I love it. Nice, Derek.
Well done.
So good.
I think for me, what did me in were the Jello shots. You get a lot of free Jello shots in Vegas when you're 21, or at least you used to. Everything's so much more expensive now. You probably don't anymore. But back in the day, you did. And I did a bunch of Jello shots, and I think that's what did me in.
I'll give you this tip, Jaden Buck. If you're in Vegas, as a newly minted 21-year-old, take about $5 with you and sit at a slot machine and just pretend you're going to play.
Yep.
They will just keep bringing you free drinks, and you use the $5 to tip them $1 every time they bring you a new one. Because technically, you're tipping 1,000,000% on a free drink.
That is true. You're being you're a good customer.
Generous.
To those,
to
those
also,
people at least.
Happy freaking birthday.
Yeah.
Jaden. That's awesome.
That too.
Obviously,
happy birthday.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is RecBCQ with $5 as well. Thank you so much. Says, what I want in Pokemon Presents. Hisuian Forms of Hisuian Forms and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Gen 9 and Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC. I may be greedy, but you can't tell me number one wouldn't help BDSP. So we'll be talking about that pretty soon. But I don't expect Gen 9. That is way too soon.
Very
Seems
early.
a little bit soon for that. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Skull Kid Tiger with a $2 donation saying, feel better, Ash, relax, kick back, play Mega Man X6.
If you want me to feel better, no, that's going to make me feel worse. If you want me to feel better, have me play a good game, please. Like, that'll just make me feel worse, man. But thank you, Skull Kid Tiger.
Synchro Lord with $1.99 saying, got a $3.25 an hour raise starting the weekend on high. That's a really good raise, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Excellent. Yeah.
Also, I think you missed a couple, Derek.
Did I? I'm so sorry.
Sonic and Mega Man.
I did miss it. I did miss a couple. I'm so sorry about that. For Sonic and Mega Man with $2. Maya and Andy from King of Fighters versus Felicia and John Talbane from Darkstalkers. I mean, tough. I'm a Felicia. I love Felicia thanks to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so I got to go Felicia.
I think I got to go Felicia and John as well, but I don't think it's like a blowout. I like Maya and Andy.
I think Maya and Andy because they're canonically a couple. I don't know that Felicia and John are canonically together, so I think they.
I don't even know who John is.
That's true. Good point, Steve.
I have no idea who John is in Darkstalkers.
You know what? I like the couple angle, Steve. I'm gonna switch sides. Maya and Andy. Yeah. Oh yeah, John's the werewolf. Yeah, John Talbane is the werewolf.
I see.
But yeah, I like the couple angle, Steve. I'm gonna switch sides. I think it's Maya and Andy.
Look at that.
They take it. Yeah.
Train my girl Felicia. That's a shame. Oh well. Next up is Jared Helder with a $2 Canadian donation. Thank you so much. Says, have you ever played a game after seeing spoilers?
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens, and you just,
So I played The Last of Us Part 2, and Sony does this thing, and I'm not going to tell you what the spoiler was, but Sony does this thing where they have you announce that you're reviewing the game. They let you do that. And it's a good business opportunity, especially if you're newer like we are to reviewing PlayStation games. So I did it. I tweeted out, I'll be reviewing The Last of Us Part 2. Here's when the review drops. And my mentions were just full of spoilers for the games. And I tried to avoid it, but I got hit with one or two of them. And I was just that's
awful.
But I mean, to be fair, spoilers do little to I'm not going to walk away and wash my hands of a game because a lot of the best things in a game to me are delivered through the mechanics and not necessarily just this is what the story beat is. So
honestly, my biggest spoilers came from Nintendo themselves because there used to be in their embargo sheets, they would have, don't talk about this very important story thing. Fortunately, I learned my lesson by the time Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, so I did not read the embargo sheet at all. I'm like, got it. Don't show it. Don't show anything. I'm just playing, and then I'll look at what you're telling me not to show. Sure enough, there were spoilers.
Oh, yeah. The minute I got the Switch, along with, all the games that Nintendo wanted folks to review with it. And so I had an embargo thing that was super thick, and I was just not looking at any of it. I know I can't talk about it today, so who cares?
Yeah.
I remember how wildly restrictive the Breath of the Wild embargo was and how it was basically impossible not to be completely spoiled on the whole game just reading through it. It was really ridiculously restrictive. And down to
let you reveal Lionel's. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And but for me, some douchebag, and I've mentioned this before, but some douchebag messaged me a massive spoiler for BioShock Infinite while I was playing it. And right in the middle of my play time with it, I was really loving it, and I'm not going to say the spoiler, of course, but it was just 3 words, blank, 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 and that was the big plot point of the game, ruined everything, but I still didn't know the context around it, and I was still enjoying the game, so I just kept pushing through.
It was Snape kills Dumbledore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That one, yeah.
That's the thing is, it's been kind of proven that spoilers don't ruin a story, but it's still like
it's just a mean thing
from seeing it. Because you only get that one chance to play unspoiled. After that, like you played it once, you know what you're spoiled from now on. You know how it's going to play out each time you play. So
right.
But the advantage is you can see the lead ups to that and get a bit more depth from knowing everything rather than just the one thing. And I think that's the big difference there. Let's see. I'll read two more before we move on to the news highlights of the week. First up is Renato Vera Munoz. Munoz? I'm so sorry.
Munoz,
with 1,000
Chilean pesos.
Chilean pesos. Thank you so much, Ash. Saying,
worries.
hey, fellas, love your stuff. Keep at it. Big love. Well, big love to you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That's so kind of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
At you.
Very much appreciated. And then Santi the person with a $10 donation says, working, so can't stay, but want to say that the logo aside, Street Fighter 6 is looking raw as hell. Trailers and Resident Evil engine, art direction is stylized realism like Tekken 7, hip hop OST, UFC aesthetic, time skip, my main hopes.
Oh boy.
So with a mind blown. And you know what? I think that's a good chance to shift over to some of the news highlights for this week. So let's talk Street Fighter 6. And I don't think you're as hype as Santi here, Steve.
No, I'm not. I am objectively not hyped. In fact, our good friend Matt McMuscles and I have talked about what we hoped Street Fighter 6 would look like well in advance of this actually being revealed. And this was like the antithesis of what we both wanted. I mean, logo, okay. I think everybody universally knows that the logo is bad. But I did get some pushback when I tweeted out that I thought that this just wasn't it. Like, that this was not... I don't want to say the right direction, but certainly not the one I and a lot of hardcore fans wanted. Street Fighter just... 5 was incredibly bland in my opinion. Like, it was an ugly game. People joke about Ken's banana hair and stuff like that, but I think overall the character designs were really uninspired and kind of boring in 5. And it looks like they were just like, what if we did that but more? And I hate it. Like, I objectively, like, I don't know what they were trying to show me, but Ryu has become so wide. Like, he is really weird looking. And then they show what I think was Luke. I think that was supposed to be Luke.
I think it's Luke.
It's supposed to be Luke.
And they're very clear about, like, look at how vascular his forearm becomes. I was like, that's just unnerving and gross. Like, his forearm looks like balls. Like, I don't want to see that. I was just like, what person? I want to know, like, how buff you have to be to, like, do one of these and have your arm become a raisin. Like, that was... I was so put off by... Like, it made me feel, like, a little bit ill. And I know this is going to sound like a weird thing, but when I was a little kid, McDonald's did this spin-off where they made Looney Tunes characters dress as McDonald's food items. And they did one where Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, was a chicken nugget. And it turned my stomach in the same way as seeing, like, Luke just do whatever he did to his arm. I was like, oh, like, my skin wanted to leap off my body when I saw it.
I will say, I think, well, it's hard not to be more positive than you, Steve, honestly, but I do feel at least like there is not enough here for me to make any kind of decision outside the logo being terrible. But as generally, I like the Resident Evil engine. It can look gorgeous. Yeah. So seeing some of the characters in this design aesthetic could be cool. I can't gauge anything off of Luke. And besides the Kylo Ren wideness of Ryu, bearded Ryu works. Let's be honest. Like that was a good design before.
That's what I was going to mention.
That is a good look for him. But
I like that they're aging him. I hope the bearded Ryu is indicative of the idea that they're going to age all the characters a little bit. This is going to be a little jump in the timeline. So I think it's time for that. And I want to see older Chun-Li. I want to see older Sakura. I want to see
Sakura in college
Guile.
now.
Yeah,
so high school.
I do like the idea of the characters being aged up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. I think the Resident Evil engine could be interesting. The fact that the director, I believe the director is from Platinum Games working on it, like had worked on a lot of their big games. That's kind of exciting. That's an interesting look, I think, or a possibility. I don't know. I need to see actual gameplay. I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I like my single. I like it when I can play it, but it just doesn't happen too often. Oh, it's the combat. Thank you, Mineta. It's the combat designer of Bayo 2. So
right. And something else that's interesting that I noticed is that Kazuhiro Tsuchiya, who until recently, until Street Fighter 6's announcement, was in charge of the Mega Man series over at Capcom, is now in charge of Street Fighter as well. He's now heading up both Mega Man and Street Fighter. So it seems like Tsuchiya-san got a little bit of a promotion or something. But interesting. It'll be interesting to see what he brings. Yeah, exactly. But it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the series. I feel closer to Derek. I think I actually always thought Street Fighter V looked pretty nice on the whole. I think it has some uninspired characters for sure, but the art direction never bothered me like it does you, Steve. And I totally
I do agree with the hair. The hair for a lot of characters was not great. Otherwise, it was fine, but the hair looked awful across the board.
Were really, like, if you look at like specifically Karin's teeth and Ken's teeth, they look like they're just floating around in their head. Like they're not anchored to anything. It's really, really off-putting. But the one thing I will say that there's not enough to go on here. Like as much as I dislike what I saw, that's not gameplay. It's not even remotely close to gameplay. It's like we saw Ryu's toes move and like, you know, some stuff like that. Like that was very clearly like a technical demonstration. Like look at all the things character models can do in this game, or in this engine rather. And you know, fighting games are more about the mechanics than the presentation. But I will say, I think what kind of hangs up this for me, and probably for other fans like me, is that I grew up. You know, my introduction to Street Fighter was CPS2, like the 16 and 32-bit era, where you kind of had that golden age of 2D animation for these games, and it brings you kind of, you know, all the popular representations of Street Fighter in media at that time was all anime, right? Like Street Fighter the movie was a anime movie, and you look in the booklets, and Akiman did really cool like anime style art for all the characters, and so that's how I mentally I just associate them with that aesthetic.
I mean, you see all the Udon books and all the characters hanging out and stuff, and all the other gorgeous artwork. It makes sense. Yeah. So
I mean, it's the same issue I have, though not nearly as extreme, with Mario. Like when I look at the 2D, you know, like the illustrations that Nintendo does for Mario, my soul yearns for a game that looks like those. And you know, but the thing is, the Mario games look great in my opinion, whereas Street Fighter is veering like more and more towards photorealism to a degree. Like they're getting more realistic with each iteration. I'm like, please stop. Like go back.
I get that. At least, hey, we're getting the Capcom Fighting Collection, which is basically a Darkstalkers collection plus some others, but that's cool.
I have beef with this though. I'm excited. I think it's cool, but all I wanted to see was Rival Schools as one of the 10 games in this collection. That is literally all I wanted. So please let this do well so we can get a 3D fighting game collection from Capcom, because Rival Schools deserves it. That's all I wanted.
Rival Schools and Power Stone.
I was going to say, if you're talking 3D fighting collection, Rival Schools and Power Stone would be an amazing.
Rival Schools, Power Stone, Project Justice, get it all. Street Fighter EX even, maybe. Not even though it wasn't very good. But just bring back Rival Schools, for God's sake, Capcom. Yeah. You're just sitting on all those cool characters. It's got great mechanics. I love those games to death.
I've got to give them credit for Vampire Savior being on there, though.
That is cool.
I had that for the Saturn back in the day, and I lost it. And I've been heartbroken about losing that game forever. So knowing I can get it on the Switch, I'm like, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm not overly familiar with Darkstalkers outside the the crossover stuff and the characters from that. So I don't know how how differently it plays or anything like that. So
yeah,
I'm interested from that idea.
Yeah. Before we move on, though, I know, as you said, Steve, everyone knows the logo is horrible, and yes, everyone does know that. But I have to just bring this up: the fact that not only is the logo horrible, that it was barely repurposed from an Adobe stock image, the creator of which now is ready to sell the rights to the image to Capcom. what happened here? Like, what actually happened here? How could that have? It's just, I mean, even before finding out the whole Adobe stock thing, what were they thinking with that logo? There's no brand synergy with the other 5 games. It looks like an app.
Oh, it's terrible.
It looks like an app
Yeah.
logo.
I honestly
bad.
think when I look at it, I think they imagined what it would look like in the middle of like the UFC octagon. They're like,
yeah. It does look like a UFC type logo with
It does.
It's from the street by having the spray paint of the 6.
It's terrible.
That's
just
though.
so bad.
I think we can all agree that it's one of the worst designed logos in recent memory. Like, yeah, you can Google SF logo and you can find tons of examples that look almost perfectly like the Street Fighter 6 logo. And I wonder, like, if someone just did that, they're like, whatever, you know?
We'll see. I mean, if you're going to make a bad logo, at least go the Resident Evil 6 route and make it unintentionally hilarious. Don't just go the bland route. I mean, come on. It's just, I can't believe what happened here.
I have to wonder if
hopefully it's
Capcom's
good
going to backpedal on that. Like, if we'll get a re-reveal of Street Fighter 6 at some point.
think it
with
might end
this
up being
much
a
of a
temp logo.
pushback, I feel like they're probably going back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
I think so.
I feel like the logo is the easiest thing to change. You can't change Wide Boy Ryu or super vascular arms, but you can change a logo pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the other potentials, because we also got the announcement of a new Pokemon Presents taking place on Pokemon Day, which falls on a Sunday.
Yeah, why?
Because it's Pokemon
I
Day.
wanted my weekend. Man.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to be reacting to it, but it's at 1400 UTC, which, what is that for us?
Let's see.
I don't want to know. I know it's going to be something 6 a.m. God, Pacific.
Yeah,
so better
9
for you,
a.m.
Derek.
for me.
And
So it might just be me and
really
John
care.
for that one.
2
That might
p.m.
be.
for John. I'll be there. That's 7 a.m. for me. I got
Are you gonna
kids.
be there?
I'm awake by then. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fair enough. I won't commit. I won't say I won't be there, but I'm also not going to fully commit to it either. We'll see. We do have an EP stream later that day as well, so I want to be rested for that too. But I might be there. But I'm a casual.
It's only
Pokemon
15
fan,
minutes, so.
Oh, that's not bad. Maybe I'll be there for 15 minutes. Then that's not bad.
Just order yourself some coffee. Like, you can schedule it in Uber Eats to be brought to you.
That's true. That's true. But we do have our EP stream later that day, so I want to be good and rested for that.
Yeah.
6 a.m. though, I just don't feel like I know it's Pokemon Day, but like, couldn't you just push it off one day?
15
this year.
minutes tells me though that this is not going to be super hype. Like, it's going to be
that's about the typical time for them. This is enough time for them to get about 3 or 4 announcements in, along as you get your. It starts out Pokemon, and this is all the big thing for them. Like, here, we love this Pokemon. Here's a series. Here's Evolve from the beginning, and just we need to pump ourselves up for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then they get into the next big thing. So
I just remember that everyone at Game Freak is like, or at the Pokemon company is like ridiculously good looking. I remember last time we watched one of these, I was like, what is it with these people? They're all male models. But I'm hopeful for Arceus DLC. Like, that's the only thing I want.
That's what I feel like.
That's the big thing it's going to be, is we're going to get some sort of Arceus DLC, because I do not predict another Pokemon game this year. I think they're going to just ride Arceus
for Gen 9.
And it's too soon for Gen 9, and riding Arceus, because it was developed, Arceus was developed by Game Freak. They need a little bit more time to work on whatever's coming next. So bringing in a new region or something like that. There's ways they could make this pretty hype. Like, hey, I don't know what Sinnoh's close to in the actual thing, but let's go to ancient Hoenn or something like that.
Right.
And explore that.
That would be really cool. Yeah. Just to throw something out there. Something else that happened this week that I don't think is going to come up in this presentation, but according to a recruitment ad, the second Detective Pikachu game is still in development. And just to throw that out there, I don't think we're going to see Detective Pikachu 2, but it is still coming apparently. I just don't know if we'll see it on Sunday, but that is something else Pokemon related that is still in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine we'll also get your standard like here's some other anime related stuff or a song like we got
a new
last time.
P25 music video or something.
Yeah, something like that. I maybe might also see a new mystery dungeon just because the first one that released on Switch did very well. So I use that same engine, remake another one, or make a brand new one. Can see it doing pretty well.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Bolt Mouse X suggesting Pokken 2.
Pokken. I can't imagine that did well enough on either Switch or Wii U to.
I don't know. Nobody talked about it on Switch, and a lot of Wii U ports really got talked about.
I loved the idea of that game, but the execution was just weird.
It was.
I enjoyed it, but the single player sucked. Yep. It was so grindy, and there wasn't enough other content to kind of make up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, I wanted to like it more than I ultimately was able to. It just didn't land with me, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what happens there, but hard to have too many suggestions or thoughts. I mean, I've seen people throw out Pokemon Puzzle League. That'd be fantastic. I highly doubt it, but it'd be cool.
Oh, I wish.
John would lose his mind.
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon Puzzle League 99, baby. That's all I want.
Oh, there we go.
If you're going to take Mario 35 away from me, then you at least got to replace it with something else I want to love, right? Because this is all about me, clearly. But come on, Pokemon Puzzle League 99. Make it happen. That's all I want.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to get probably a max of 4 announcements.
Mm-hmm.
That seems about right. Big or small, probably some other mobile ones, maybe some Pokemon Unite stuff. Who knows? I think the big thing though will be Pokemon Legends DLC.
Yeah,
which,
I think you're right.
I'd be kind of hyped about, depending on how they
game is so
set
good.
it up.
Yeah.
So I'm down. So the other big, I'm looking through the news list we have here, just the stuff that might stand out to me, and I do like this headline. Square Enix wants to make more HD 2D games in the future.
Yes,
Chrono
please.
Trigger.
Yes, Chrono Trigger, please.
Weirdly enough, they listed ActRaiser as their second most, like Live Alive was the number one, the most suitable from the list of SNES titles, with ActRaiser as number 2. That's odd considering I already got a remake.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to know what their definition of suitable is, because what the hell about Chrono Trigger isn't suitable? Like, why isn't that the most suitable? Like, I just don't know what their criteria are here.
Maybe Live Alive leading up to Chrono Trigger, since it is kind of the precursor to Chrono Trigger. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they want to make more HD 2D titles, period, because that gives me hope that maybe Chrono Trigger is possible. Maybe it actually could happen. Who knows?
2D is not dead.
No, nor should it ever be. But yeah, I'd love to see. There's so many games that would be great in that style. Chrono Trigger, FF6. I mean, it's cool that we're getting Live Alive. Secret of Mana would be cool. I know it got that crappy PS4 remake a couple years back, but nah, let's get HD 2D in there, man.
I feel like there's a lot of Square Enix, going the Live Alive route. Let's get some other stuff that never came out to this in the States.
Yeah,
like Bahamut Lagoon and Terranigma.
Nice. That would be.
That's
awesome.
Enix, but yeah. Well, I guess
it's Square Enix.
Probably, yeah, they can do that now. That's true. I would love them to do
ActRaiser
the entire
was
Soul
Enix.
Blazer trilogy. Like, that's true. So do the whole Soul Blazer trilogy if they could. Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma. Please, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm down. But we'll have to see what's going on. But let's go ahead and move on to our next segment with patron topics. But before that, we got some more.
Can I give a quick shout out before we do that?
Sure.
I want to give a shout out to our good friend and previous TNT guest Greg Miller, who recently hosted the DICE Awards for this year, and he opened it by saying "fuck Bobby Kotick," which.
Yep.
Much love to you, Greg. That's a pretty. I'm surprised. And good on you for saying it, man.
I did not hear about this. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Super awesome. It was so good. Yep. Absolutely. Absolute shout outs to Greg Miller.
I have a feeling I got some big cheers.
He's a legend. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, as Shell Shock Prime says, Greg Miller is a legend for that. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Steve.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
First up is Bert J with a €5 donation. Thank you so much. Saying, today I'll be getting the platinum with Guardians of the Galaxy. Love the game.
I need to go back to that. I've heard it's so good.
It is such cheaper, a good game. Yeah, definitely don't sleep on Guardians. It is fantastic.
I have such a list.
Square recently said that game didn't perform to their expectations, and I'm like, how high are your expectations?
The original Tomb Raider reboot was not to their expectations, and that was the best-selling game in the franchise up to that point.
I think it sold 3.14 million, and that still wasn't up to their expectations.
What does Square Enix expect? It is ridiculous.
I think they did at least say though that post-launch sales drives for Guardians have helped push it closer to whatever their expectations are. So I'm hoping it gets there because I'd really like to see a sequel. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd like to.
I don't know. It's very strange, but
yeah,
we'll see. Alan Wilkinson with a £2 donation. Thank you so much. Says Pokemon Presents Wish, Pokken 2. We talked a little bit about that, but I wouldn't be against it, but I'm not expecting it.
Yeah, it would be a pleasant surprise, but I just don't see that series coming back.
Yeah.
Jacob Tucker with a $5 donation saying, got my first ever tattoo today. It's a drawing of Sonic I made. Have you guys ever considered tattoos? And if so, what designs? I am a wuss. No, I'm good. No tattoo for me.
I've definitely considered it. I would like to get like a little E-tank on my wrist or something. Nothing like, I'm not going to get like a massive back tattoo, but like an E-tank on my wrist, or maybe a heart tank from Mega Man X, or something from Chrono Trigger, something just tiny and cool.
I have a tattoo, so I will.
I don't think I knew this.
It's back here. It's on my shoulder, and it is the weebiest tattoo in existence.
Oh, nice.
That tracks.
Going back to when I was 21. Naruto was real hot, like hot in Japan, and so I got Sasuke's curse seal right back here. Yeah. So I was definitely like, that's the only tattoo I've got. But I plan to get more.
Pretty good though. Plus, if you don't know, it just comes across as kind of a cool symbol.
Yeah. So people have asked me what it is. I'm like, I don't know.
I have a friend who really loves Venture Brothers, and he got the Venture Brothers skull, and it's basically in that same spot.
Oh, nice.
Dude, this is hardcore.
Because like, you don't see it unless you want to show it to someone, you know? And it's canonically in the right spot.
That is true.
Dude, Michael Makakobo GP, I love that name, by the way, in our live audience chat, is hardcore. They say they're getting the gospel logo for Mega Man Battle Network 2 tattooed on their chest. That's awesome, man. That's hardcore. If you're actually doing that, let us know how it turns out. That's really cool, and a very specific, like, deep cut from Battle Network. That's great.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So. It's like the terrorist enemy organization in Battle Network 2, like the villain organization. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Sonic and Mega Man 531 back with a $2 donation saying Guile from Street Fighter versus Nick Fury from Marvel.
Guile.
I think I have to give it to Guile. Yeah,
I saw Guile mess up Galactus in Marvel vs. Capcom.
I mean, that's true. I was actually going to say Nick Fury because he deals with otherworldly threats on the regular, whereas
but never fighting them directly.
True. I guess if it's just a one-on-one fight between the two of them, Guile probably does take it. Yeah. True. Agreed.
Chicken Cognition with a $10 super chat saying, Dear GVG crew, I am a representative of the esteemed guild of honest and trustworthy coat collectors. May I take anybody's coat? I don't really wear any coats
I took
often.
mine off before the show started, but I will tell you that I love you both for your icon and your name, Chicken Cognition.
Yes, that's fantastic, but I don't wear coats. Good. I don't wear sweaters, coats, anything. One layer only for me. I hate heat.
Yeah, I need my coats if I'm wearing a coat. I need it.
That's kind of what it comes down lives in an area where coats are often not optional. So
right.
In Arizona, a coat is an accessory, but can and probably does on occasion cause folks to burst into flames. So
I
wear light coats. Yeah, exactly. Just I was wearing a coat and I was like, if I wear this through the show, I'm going to be visibly sweaty by the time the show's over.
Black Ninja with $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, all I want is a Pokemon FPS where you go between conduits taking place in DC, but maybe minus the Pokemon. And then I just want conduit 1 and 2 HD. Stay true to the cause.
Yeah.
You'll get your wish someday. I believe in you.
Yeah. One of these days, just keep that hope alive, right? And it'll happen someday.
Yep. Then friend of the show, Golden Bolt, two-time previous guest, with $5. Thanks for stopping by. Saying, just popped in. I was so hyped for you guys hitting 75K that I totally missed that GVG's already passed 80K. Hundreds coming in no time. Much love. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This growth has been unbelievable. But hey, Golden Bolt deserves just as much growth. You want some in-depth stuff? My God, I love his Ratchet and Clank retrospectives, and he has others. He has a nice, beefy like Parasite Eve look. Legend of Dragoon. If you're into those old PS1 games, those are great videos.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So definitely check that out. And finally, we got Howdy Folks Gaming with $1.99. Thank you so much. Saying, I'm late, but I made it. Yes, you did make it. And thank you very much.
Yes, you're here. You made it. Yeah, thank you very much.
And I saw this question pop up in the I think the live audience chat. For those of you wondering, the Switch OLED giveaway is underway right now, but we still have a few days until we announce the winner. We wanted to give everybody a chance to enter to win because we had to do some stuff. I recommend watching the video. There is a scammer out there in the comments telling people they won, but just if you watch the video or at least read the description or the pinned comment, it explains how you win. So don't fall for anybody commenting saying, hey, champ, you won. Champ, also, we speak perfect English. Like, we wouldn't write you a message like that.
And also, if you deal with anyone who is trying to talk to you through WhatsApp, I did get a little more information about the scammer. They're trying to reach out to people through WhatsApp, get your address, get shipping money out of you. That's not us. Like, as Steve said, that is not us. We don't use WhatsApp at all. So, and again, the giveaway is still underway. It's not even done yet. So don't fall for it, please. Don't fall for it.
We will announce the winner in a video on the channel. It'll be big. It'll just say winner, and it'll have your name on it if you won. So if you see a video with your name in it, then you won. If you guys get a comment, you didn't win. Yeah, so
exactly.
We don't use WhatsApp. We don't use Telegram because if we're going to talk to you, we'll just do it here.
Yeah.
So it's a shame, but you know what isn't a shame? Our other sponsor for GVGcast. That would be Straightlace, and I do believe we have a video for them.
Coming right up.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Straightlace, and I make content, and sometimes I've got Monster Hunter.
As they say in England.
Ow! I've got Pokemon. I'm gonna do something really stupid. I've got game design analysis. Fast and unthought out decisions can have some nasty consequences down the line. And I've also got Dungeons and Dragons. I like how half the party is cultured and they're like, it's just food, and the other half is, what is this magic? So feel free to stop by, say hi, learn a little, and laugh a little.
All right.
And definitely check out Straightlace. Great stuff. Longtime supporter, and get to play a cool free game as well. Definitely check out Soul Device
on Steam. On
Steam.
Soul Device 1 and 2 are both there.
1
They're
and
both
2
free to play, I believe.
Yeah.
And speaking of patrons, let's get to our Patreon topics for the week. And who would like to go first? Ash, Steve?
I'll go ahead and jump
Fight to the death. Okay.
All right.
Fight to the death. So, well, I think this is the one occasion where I might actually win, since Ash is considerably weakened.
Ooh, there you go.
I should strike while the iron's hot, or while whatever he's got going on is going on. But anyway, my topic comes courtesy of Moon Knight, who I don't think we've read a topic from before, so thank you for your submission. Says, do you think gaming outlets like IGN, GameSpot, etc. have lost credibility among people? Do you still believe what their score systems give to games? Would those ever die off? So that's a little bit of a complicated question. I wanted to choose it because I know people that work at all of these outlets, as I'm sure Ash and Derek both do. And I will say that an outlet is only as good as the people that work there, right? Because it's just a collection of people. And for a while, IGN fell off for me, just because I felt like their voices didn't really resonate with me in terms of the folks they had on staff. But they hired Tina Amini as their editor-in-chief, who you all know I have a history with in terms of, she was my mentor coming up in this business. And I think she's a fantastic editor. And she has shown that, in my opinion, through her staffing choices that she's made. She's hired our good friend Kat Bailey. She's hired Rebecca Valentine. I think IGN has one of the best crews it's ever had in its history.
Agreed.
And NVC is better than ever. You know, I still like Pear. I still like, you know, other folks that were there before, but I think that IGN is a much more well-rounded place now, with a lot of different voices that have different experiences, and it comes through in their critique and in their reporting. So IGN went from a website that just wasn't on my radar 5 years ago to my daily go-to, because they picked up all the people I read at other places. You know, if they had Imran, I'd be, I would go to one site and that's it. But I'm glad he's at Fanbyte. You know, GameSpot I think is all right. I don't really read them much. But the thing about gaming, I think you'll never lose the idea of big gaming news outlets doing their thing. I don't think like what we're doing will replace those anytime, because I think it's good to have, you know, IGN. I think people still look at it as like a written word type of publication first. And their new media stuff is kind of supporting and ancillary to what they do. But I feel like I don't think there's the same problem that folks have that's like kind of endemic to media in general in the US, like where people are kind of siloed off, you know, left wing versus right wing in terms of the media. But I feel like gaming is a bit more unified in that regard, but I don't think you're ever going to lose these kind of monolithic websites that have existed since the beginning of the internet. They're going to be around there. Yeah. Review scores are a topic of debate around the industry. There's a lot of points for like a numbered system, because whether you love it or hate it, Metacritic does get you exposure. Like it aggregates you. And when we were founding GVG, that was one of the things we considered was maybe if we do numbers, you know, like people will get driven to our site just because they'll read, oh, this place I've never heard of gave it a 5, you know. But ultimately we decided it would not be it would be a disservice to our viewers to go in with such a cynical mindset.
And you know, and there are people out there where, regardless of how you feel about reviews and review scores, like numerical review scores, there are people out there who don't care about reading a review and just want to know, did it get an 8 or up? If so, I'm going to buy the game. If not, I'm skipping it. Pre-order canceled.
And that's
not how
more
we feel
than anything else.
Yeah, but I mean, but that segment of the audience does exist, and they're not going anywhere. So I don't, like, as Steve's been saying, I agree with everything he said. I don't think those really big sites with their numerical review systems are ever going to die off, nor necessarily should they. And I agree also with what you said, Steve, that any outlet is only as good as the people who work there, as its staff. And IGN's current staff is incredible. I think they're doing a great job. At the same time, there's always going to be that vocal crowd who just automatically distrusts any kind of video game journalism because
of reviews from a decade ago that the people who wrote that are no longer there.
Yeah, and there are always going to be those people who are like, oh, you know, you can't spell you can't spell ignorant without IGN, and you can't trust video game journalists. They're all bought and paid for. They're not going anywhere either, but that doesn't mean that anything.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure YouTubers are just as bought and paid for if you're going to go by that metric.
Yeah, if anything, and I hate to say it because we're YouTubers, this side of the business is far less regulated than you know, I don't have an editor looking over my shoulder, you know, saying that's a conflict of interest. Maybe you shouldn't do that. You know, like if they want to, and oftentimes. You know, I worked at Nintendo Life for years. I reviewed lots of stuff for them. I received lots of things. But I will say, when I made the jump from like a traditional editorial type of position to being a YouTuber, like a lot of random free stuff that never came around before started showing up at my house. Like, you know, like I would get free games, of course, which is kind of part and parcel with reviewing games. But I started getting like influencer kits and stuff like that. Like Microsoft sent me a phone. I didn't need a phone.
Right. You have the hookups because I never got anything like that. So
yeah. I mean, well,
they never got a phone.
I have a little black book. They didn't send me another phone. Microsoft, if you're listening, my phone's cracked. I would really like another phone. But no, you don't have to send me a phone because I don't know what I would do with it. But yeah, it's definitely the YouTube side of things is almost like what the journalism side was 20 years ago, where, you know, you'll get people like, hey, we'd love to send you on a trip to talk about our game. Like, we'll fly you across the world to play a video game. I'm like, I could do that at home.
Yeah, it's also one of those things like we're doing a review, but you have to be in this very strict location for it. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but I know that was a thing for a while, and I know a lot of publications just was like, no, we're good.
Review events are not much of a thing in America anymore, but in Europe they're still huge. Well, maybe not now thanks to COVID, but I do know that certain AAA publishers in Europe would invite people and just, hey, we're going to lock you in a room for like 3 days and you just play this game, and we'll have PR people to hype you up the whole time.
Yeah. I did that for the last.
They're definitely getting red carpet treatment, and just like, here's a bunch of good food and whatnot.
And those were actually fairly common in the U.S. before COVID, so it wouldn't be surprising to me to see them come back.
I think
if we ever get to a place where they can come back.
I think preview events are pretty common in the U.S. Review events where you play through the whole game, like with someone over your shoulder. I don't think I've ever done one of those.
Yeah.
But in the UK, they have actual review events where you either spend the entirety of your gameplay and they record it and send it to you, or they'll make you do like the first 5 hours with them, and then they'll send you home with the game afterwards.
Right.
But it's like we won't give you the game unless you come to the event and you play 5 hours with us first.
Which is just so that's
very
so
weird.
And weird.
Yeah.
That's not something I'd like to see.
It's easy to be swayed, depending on your ethics and how willing you are willing to be swayed. But that's why you can't be too hard on journalism sites, because it's a matter of the editor-in-chief and the people who work there, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, and just like everything else, find the people whose voices you identify with and you trust, and stick with them. Objectively, there's some major problems with Pokemon Legends. A lot of those problems don't really matter because the game's really damn fun.
It's a really great game. The one thing I want to say is that Brian Camargo says like we need to increase the embargo by at least 1 week, and I can tell you that oftentimes that's just not possible. It's difficult because you have so many different people working on a game, and they set these dates oftentimes before the game is finished. And they obviously want to get the game to the reviewer in like as playable of a state as possible. And there are definitely games that I've played that were broken when I got them, with like a whole list of promises, like, hey, please don't talk about this. It's going to be fixed while you're playing it. But sometimes, like with Elden Ring, I saw Imran talking about it. They got it a week ago, which even Imran was saying, for a game that big, I needed 3 weeks. And that is just, but it's the unfortunate reality is that, sometimes these guys are squeaking this game out just under the deadline. Like, hey, we got it. It works. It's not going to cyberpunk itself. Like they're just like, it's ready now. And reviewers just get it when they get it. But I will say, it is refreshing when somebody delivers you a game with like weeks of time to be able to prep, but that's the exception more than the rule.
Right.
Typically.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate to get Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a month early, and I needed that time. And I think Dragon Quest I got like 2 weeks early, which I was still crunching.
Review embargo times are such a tricky thing. I mean, on our side of it, we always want longer embargoes because that just it's a less hectic gameplay experience for us. It's better for our mental health, but it's also better for the coverage of the game because we can get a more honest feel for how the game is instead of just having to rush through it in a week or a few days or whatever. And I've been on both sides. I've had really generous embargoes and I've had really tight embargoes, and I'll always take generous if I have a choice, but you never do.
I do have to give a shout out to NIS America when Disgaea 4 came out.
4, okay.
Mm-hmm. When Disgaea 4 came out, they gave it to me 3 months before it came out. They were just crap. Like, take your time. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I was shocked because I submitted the request and they immediately gave me the game. And I was like, how is it done?
I wouldn't have even thought to request that early.
Yeah.
Well, this was back like early in my career. So my strategy, for those of you that want to know that you're trying to break into the industry and trying to review games, what I would do before I was affiliated with literally anyone is I would, first off, write some stuff. Like, don't just go out and have nothing written anywhere on the internet and try to get a game. It's not going to work. I tried that once too. But I wrote a few pieces, like just editorial, and then I would send those as like my portfolio. And I would send way in advance. I'd be like, hey, look, I'm nobody. You don't need to care about me, but I would love to cover your game. I know it comes out a long time from now, so I'm getting in early just so you know that I'm interested. And if you can find it in your heart to spare one copy, I would love to talk about your game. And, it didn't work with like most publishers. Like Nintendo was like, yeah, kick rocks, I don't care about you. But with smaller niche publishers like NIS and Xseed, who honestly kind of get ignored by larger sites, they would take the opportunity. They'd say, oh yeah, we'll take a chance. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
And that's how I got started. Was I reviewed very small games, and NIS gave me Disgaea 4 just months in advance, and I was just blown away that I had anything that early. And it's the longest lead time I've ever had on anything. But I think they expected, me to go like fully into the end game, which that's a terrifying proposition.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I do want to answer a quick question from our previous TNT guest and friend of the channel, 112, asking Ash, how much in advance did you get the Mega Man collections? And this is an interesting point because I got two of them with pretty generous embargoes, and then another one with a horrible one. So for the classic Legacy collections, I got a couple of weeks, and that was great. For Zero and ZX Legacy collection, I got 2.5 weeks, and that was even better. Inexplicably, for Mega Man 11, I got a month, which was amazing. I didn't need a month to review a Mega Man game. On the other hand, I got 5 days for Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2, and that was one of the worst weeks, having to play through 8 games. Because even though, you played them before, you still want to make sure that they all pass muster in these ports, right? So I still felt like I had to play all of them. And there's the bonus content on top of it, like X Challenge. So that was rough. 5 days for 2 collections with 8 games total and bonus content sucked. But the other ones they gave me plenty of time.
Nice.
Yep. Changes. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next Patreon question. Ash, do you want to go next or should I?
Sure, I'll go next.
Okay.
All right, so my topic this week comes from Jared Ettinger, asking if Project Spartacus is real, what is one game from each PlayStation generation you'd like to see on the service? And for those of you who may not remember, Project Spartacus is the code name for the rumored Xbox Game Pass rival that Sony apparently has in development. It's there's going to be allegedly multiple tiers, with the highest tiers offering access to a library of classic PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. And I think PSP as well, maybe. So anyway, that's what that is for those of you who may not remember. I sure hope it's real. Give me that. I want those classic PlayStation games, but I'll do you one better. I'll give you a couple from each generation. For PS1, give me those Square titles. Parasite Eve, Xenogears, Brave Fencer Musashi, Saga Frontier 2. I want them all. I want all that stuff. PS2, I love the Shadow Hearts games. Shadow Hearts Covenant, Shadow Hearts from the New World. I'd love to see that entire series. I'd like to see some really wacky ones too, like Mr. Mosquito and just like really both Parappa games, or Parappa the Rapper 2, I guess, in PS2's case. And then PS3, Metal Gear Solid 4. That game is still locked to the PS3. I'd love to see Metal Gear Solid 4 become playable for newer generations of fans. So MGS4 is a big one. On the PS3 front, I can't think of too many games like I can PS1 and PS2. But MGS4, I think, for me would be the big one. But do you guys have any more you want to throw out there?
Oh, yeah. You mentioned a bunch of Square games and not the Square game that I had, so I was pretty happy.
Oh, nice.
I want Tobal 2. Like, Tobal 2 is a fun fighting game with a great single-player mode.
Air Guys, too, on that note. Air Guys and Einhander.
I was going to say, you're missing some. Valkyrie Profile, Einhander. Is like, there's a lot of these really rare RPGs that we've never gotten. So this is a good opportunity to sort of get that some stuff. And some of them are on PS3. But, we got the Persona games. We got, Misadventures of Tronbon, that kind of stuff. Like that'd be great to have. PS2-wise, oh, God.
Dark Cloud was on my PS2 list. I see Bolt Mouse also added it in the chat. I always
Dark
want to
Cloud
check
2.
that out.
Dark Cloud. I know Dark Cloud 2 is generally considered better than the first one.
A really good suggestion from Brandon Bovia and Rob Armanex for PS3, 3D Dot Game Heroes. Great game.
Oh,
and I
have
love to see that brought over. Yeah, I have it too.
I have that.
Really good game.
I see Lollipop Chainsaw. Yes. Lollipop Chainsaw would be cool to see come back especially because that was before I really knew much about James Gunn.
Yeah.
Because that story was written by him, and just wild collaboration of characters in that one, and it honestly a lot of fun. So,
yeah, and as you said, Derek, of course, Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 and Misadventures of Tron Bond on the PS1 front, obviously. Yeah, I would have said Chrono Cross, but we're getting a remaster of that, so that's not quite as pressing now.
Yeah. You know what? PS2, it doesn't get talked about a whole lot, and I've not played it a lot myself, but the Maximo games.
Yeah, those are good.
Which are basically 3D spiritual successors to Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would have also said Klonoa 2, but hey, we're getting a remaster of that now too, so we don't need that anymore. But yeah, I love the idea of having access to a library of classic PlayStation games. So that's why I chose this question. I kind of wanted to talk about Spartacus anyway, and I really hope it's real. I think it is, and it sounds as though it's close to release if some rumors that came out this week are
that'd be cool.
Go by. So yeah. But thank you, Jared, for the question.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. So for my question, it comes from Joseph Bayer, who says, Miyamoto calls and says you get to pick 2 new Mario Kart characters. There are no restrictions. Ooh. Who do you choose? Bonus points for any curveballs. And
no restrictions.
Well, the funny thing is, I read this when I first read it. I am so stuck to the rules of a genre or a series that I kind of just naturally stick to them. So I stuck with actual Mario characters. But I did have I do have a curveball in here. One very common, I can't see it not happening, but I still want to see it. Pauline Z. I want Pauline. Obvious one. Yeah, I'm the traditional boring one. Well. My other one. Wow, I'm actually surprised I'm not the only one who said this. My other one was same as RV Rocks. Plessy. Why not put Plessy in the cool. And see how ridiculous that is.
That's cool. I like that.
Also, that's a good one. Egad. Egad needs some love.
Egad should have been in Mario Kart a long time ago. Egad should be in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised, as I've said, I'm surprised Pauline wasn't already in Mario Party Superstars. I feel like she should be in that game, and I really would like to see her added with this upcoming DLC for Mario Kart, but it sounds like it's just courses. But I agree with you, Derek. Pauline would be the obvious one to me. For me, it's hard because I was going to say Pauline as well, but then you said no restrictions. So I'm gonna go with an obvious one for me. I've said this many times. I've wanted this ever since Rosalina's Smash 4 reveal trailer. Kirby on a Warp Star in Mario Kart. Nice. I just want to play as Kirby. I want Kirby. As for another character, I could do the obvious thing and just say Mega Man, but I feel like that's too obvious. So here's a curveball. Danica Patrick. She made her debut in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed. I'm kidding. No.
I don't even know.
I'm kidding. I don't even know if you can play as her anymore.
You can.
Can you still? Okay. I wasn't sure if she is DLC or not. I'll need a little more time to think of my second one, but Kirby's my first one easily. It's not even close.
So I have 3. My first one is obviously, how dare neither of you mention this, by the way, Bongo. He was in. he already is in Sonic Dash. Let's bring him into Mario Kart. He doesn't even need a cart. We all know he can go fast. But in all seriousness, my 2, and they're both curveballs, I think. The first is Takamaru from Takamaru's Hidden Castle. One. Yeah. We already have Link. Castle. Yeah, Muramasa Castle. We already have Link, and those are sister games technically. So I'd like to see Takamaru join. The other one, and I would almost want this more because of how I envision the method of purchasing this specific DLC. I want Rusty from Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. And I want him to let you haggle down for the price of his DLC.
That, you know what? Bringing Rusty and making him who you get car parts from in Mario Kart would be kind of amazing. Yeah. You just haggle him down.
That's
really good.
So awesome. I would love it if he complained about how he has to feed his kids every time he went to go get car parts from him. I can't go any lower. Come on. Okay, fine. $1. Fine.
100 coins for this part. Yeah. All right, 95.
Yeah. Man, I'm having a hard time coming up with something that isn't kind of obvious, but I'll guess
I'm seeing Fawful. Fawful's a good one.
Fawful's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one too. Kirby is easily my number one most wanted, but there were some Mega Man kart racers. The Mega Man Battle and Chase, and he has the Rush Roadstar. Rush literally transforms into a kart, and you know what? As obvious as it is, I think that'd be kind of cool actually to see Mega Man in the Rush Roadstar in Mario Kart. So I can't think of anything more. I can't think of a curveball. I mean,
I love that I've seen Birdo a couple times in the chat. I want to expand on that. I don't want Birdo. I don't want Birdo at all. I want Mini Mario from like Mario 1 riding on an egg spat out by Birdo. Like my God.
Nice.
Like if you turbo it, I want her to like run up to the start line before anyone can go and spit the egg out, and then you have to maneuver it.
That's great.
The egg catches slightly and wheels come out.
You know what? You're talking about specific cars, Ash. Let's get Rouge the Bat and her go-kart from Sonic Adventure 2, because that thing's kind of infamous with its shape.
Or I mean, hell, we could just have Sonic outside of a car. Just Sonic. He can outrun anybody, and he can certainly be fast enough
all
to
the rules and put him in a car.
Yeah, I guess. But it would be kind of cool just to have Sonic running around.
Put in Reggie galloping like a horse. Like full business attire Reggie.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, there's one. Link on Epona. Like
Epona USA.
Like Epona USA style. There's my curveball. I want Kirby and I want Link on Epona. There you go. Not on the Master Cycle. No, on Epona. I want to race Epona herself. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Top Dog. Obviously, Kirby with the mouthful mode. Kirby car. Kirby.
Yeah, there you go.
That too. Yeah.
Perfect. But I think that's our Patreon topics this week. Thank you so much for those. Those were informative and also weird, which I think is the best kind of combination. I think that'll about do it for this episode of the GVGcast. Thank you so much for watching.
Sorry, Derek, we have one more super chat. I think you might have missed.
I am so sorry. Can you read it out for me?
Yes, you got it. It's from Lizard81288. Thank you very much. $5. Thank you so much for your generosity. Asking, since Pokemon takes inspiration from the real world, where would you want Generation 9 to be based on?
If it follows if I think the best place, if you want a modern Legends, have like an Australian-based area, because it's already wild and untamed.
That'd be cool.
Pokemon are unrestrained there. Go for it.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland. I like the Australia idea myself. That's something that's been kind of unexplored. I like that idea. Maybe I love ice and snow and cold. Maybe something based on an Arctic area, like Antarctica, super uncharted, like a super uncharted frontier style region.
Have the whole Northern Territory.
Yeah. So something like that too, I think would be cool. So thank you, Lizard. Just want to make sure we read that out. Also, one more good thing about you hosting today, Derek. People have been asking for the return of Shake That Ash, and I can finally do it again. It's been a while. So I will be shaking that ash again today.
Goody.
Gotta stretch here. All right.
Oh, boy.
Complicated things about this.
With that said, thank you all so much for watching. And that'll take us out for episode 3 of the GVG cast. But of course, before we end things off, we got to give a big old thank you to all of our patrons, big and small. Just the amount of support that's been pouring out lately has been just amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, an extra special thank you to all of our producers, as this show just wouldn't be possible without all of you. And many of the things we are doing now wouldn't be possible without all of you. So thank you so much for that support. But of course, there's also an extra special thank you going out to our executive producers and above. And that includes Brandon Bovia, Rob Barman X, Bangs, Dan Inchwhistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Bert J373, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, Yogo RP, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Sapphire, Azran127, Black King, Pagrama, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orum, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, Jessica Toad, Deaneth, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCall, Niminator, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hooby, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Captain Finlandia, Nathan Steele, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Thinkro Lord, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Dinner Sonic, Derek, Jeff Ed, Blaze 25, Stag Nasty, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Willow Pingree, Santi the Person, Brendan Hess, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Ryan's Fault, Brainchild, Pat Pending, that's a great name, Jim Wakelin, Lauren Bond, Sridhar Ayala, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and Gavin Twaddle. Thank you all so much for all your support. That is a lot of names.
You. I missed doing that too, dancing. Thank you,
there
everybody.
you go. Get that workout there, Ash.
Yeah.
And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and access to watch our weekly discussions live for as little as $5 a month. Newest one should come out tomorrow. If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure it's coming tomorrow.
Should be tomorrow, yeah.
Should be tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night and good vibes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.